if you want to make a mod for SimpleRockets, you'll need to make sure you have the PC version. Once you install that, you can find the install folder under C program files x86 Jundru SimpleRockets. So this is the game folder. These are all the files, the graphics and the sound files and the executable, all the stuff the game uses. But I highly recommend not working out of here. You should copy this folder and then go somewhere else. Like I have a dev folder here. You should make a dev folder too. Now you're a developer. So go into SimpleRockets here, and I would like to create a magical fuel tank that has like basically unlimited fuel. So the first thing you're going to need is some graphics. So I have some graphics for this fuel tank that I put together. So this is it. It's a golden fuel tank. It's actually just the medium, the T3000, Sloshy T3000 that's just been painted gold. So I'm going to copy that and take it back down here to my dev folder, paste it. And then there's a file in here called shipsprites.png. So where are you at? There we go. And this might look familiar. These are all the parts that you use in the game. So what we need to do is get the magical fuel tank in here somehow. So I like to use Photoshop. You can use whatever you have available. So where'd you go? Open you up, and then I also need to go back and get the magical tank. Copy that, paste it, and you can put it anywhere in the file. Just make sure that nothing is intersecting it. And then once you paste it, look at the top left. You'll need the coordinates for the top left of the sprite, which Photoshop has a little tool that if I start drawing a selection like this, it tells me where I started. So I know that this is starting at 623 and 254. So make a note of that. And I know it's the same dimensions as the other fuel tank. So I'll save it. We're done with that. Now we need to go into another file called shipsprites.xml, which lists the coordinates for all of the sprites in that file we were just looking at. So I know that we started with the engine medium, which is the Sloshy T3000. And I'm gonna change the name of this to, and this name can be anything that you want. I'm gonna call it magictank.png. And know the X coordinate was 623. The Y coordinate is 254. Now, if you go back to this file, the ship sprites PNG, and you look at this, the medium fuel tank is rotated sideways. So that's kind of annotated in this file as R equals Y, which means it's rotated. So the new tank we put in there is not. So I'm going to delete that. And since it's rotated, I need to flip the width and height numbers. So there we go. So now this tells the game where to pull this sprite from. The X and Y coordinates of the upper left and the width and height of the sprite. Save that. We're done with that. Now the last step is the parts list.xml. And I'm going to start with the Sloshy T3000, since that's what that's what we're working off here. I'm going to turn off word wrap. This program I'm using here is called Notepad 2. I think it's a really good text editor, and it's free. So there we go. Paste in this new one. I need to give it a new ID. You can't have any conflicting IDs, so fueltank.magic. And I'm going to give it a name. This is kind of the friendly name you'll see in the game. I'm going to call it the T Infinity. And description, we call it magical. And what I call that, magic tank, I think. Magictank.png. The mass. Now these are some kind of arbitrary units. This isn't 6.85 kilograms or anything. I forget what the conversion rate is, but I'm going to actually make this a little bit lighter. And the width and height here are actually are arbitrary units too. I think it's something like every unit here is like half a meter, but I'm not sure. I'll keep it the same. I know the dimensions are the same as the medium T3000, so I'll leave that the same. Now here I'm going to change the fuel and make it quite a bit bigger. I'm going to make it 100,000 liters. These are liters. The fuel actually is in a real number, a real unit. And here's the damage. I could change that. I'll leave that the same. This kind of tells you how easily something can explode. So if you made this number explode lower, then it'd be a lot easier for it to blow up. And you can also change how big the explosion is when it does blow up. And here's the attach points. This kind of indicates where this part can attach to other parts. And since I'm using the T3000 as a model, I'm just going to keep it the same. It's going to attach in all the same places. Okay, so close that and load up SimpleRockets. See if I actually did this correctly. Okay, now we got a warning here that says we modified a resource file and leaderboards have been disabled. And of course I did this so that you can't, make an engine really powerful or do what we're doing now. And then you'd easily be able to get on the leaderboards if you'd done that. In fact, some people have. But I have disabled that by adding this, a check to prevent people from doing that. So I feel okay releasing this video on how to do mods because now I've kind of prevented people from changing and getting on the leaderboards. So expect to see that that's okay when you're modding. And I'm going to go back down here to the sandbox, and looks like I have the parts list here, Magic T Infinity. It looks like it's kind of messed up. It didn't quite get the sprite, probably the coordinates are off for the sprite. So let's hop back out here. I think the problem is going to be in the ship sprites. Ship sprites, the magic tank. These are the coordinates again. Let me double check. I'm sure I messed this up. Whoa. Okay. So 623 by 254, and the width and height is, the height is 240. I must have grabbed the wrong tank, I guess, yeah, I did. I don't know. I'm not sure what I did wrong, but the actual width and height of this thing is, the height's actually 240. So change that, save it, close it, go back to SimpleRockets, reload SimpleRockets, and let's go back down to the sandbox mode. Check the preview for it. The preview looks good. Add it to the ship, and here's a Blasto 425. And let's see how this thing works. There we go. So I'm at full throttle, and you'll notice how slowly the fuel is draining out of this rocket. It has 100,000 liters of fuel, so it's gonna, I probably can keep it on full throttle all the way to the moon. So that's it. I mean, that's the basics to modifying SimpleRockets. So go ahead and knock yourself out. I hope you guys have fun with this. I really am excited to see what you come up with. You can do quite a bit. And obviously, there are some limitations. I mean, if you want to add a new fuel tank, that's easy. A new engine, that's fine. But if you want to add any kind of articulated part, you can't really do that because you would need code in the game to support that part. So there are obviously some limitations. But and if you have any questions, just post it on the SimpleRockets subreddit. And I'm on there all the time. I'm always answering questions on there, so just that's a good place to look for help. So I look forward to seeing what you guys do. Thanks for watching.